If you're a Big Brother fan, then what I say next isn't going to be news to you. Eviction speeches never actually saved you. You can say whatever you want, but throughout Big Brother history, I don't think there has ever been a time where someone saved themselves through their final plea. But that doesn't mean they're not impactful. Although nobody has saved themselves during their eviction speech, players have certainly impacted the game past their evictions through their last plea, and even if they didn't, there have been some wild speeches. Whether impactful, entertaining, or just plain powerful, these are the best and wildest eviction speeches in Big Brother history.
That was the best last plea speech I've ever seen.
Sadly, if I'm being honest, very early Big Brother just didn't have good eviction speeches. They were all serious and formal, and while they certainly have their place, they're not what I'm looking for today. Luckily, I can always rely on Marvin from Big Brother 5 to deliver. Although he was pretty confident that he was staying next to Jase, he still made sure to give a heartfelt send-off to each house guest. Or at least half of them. Now, I must preface that this was a different time where different things were acceptable to say, but those things aren't the reason Marvin makes the list, as the parts that really make the speech good is the complete personal disregard for half the house in the moment with Jase.
Will, thanks for the gay fashion advice. Love that. I love you like a play cousin. Ex-stripper, I'm sorry, Diane. You my homegirl. Drew, love you. All y'all on that side, too. My man here. Come here, baby.
I love you, baby. I love you, baby.
You look so nice. You look nice. Oh, good luck, dude. And Halle Berry, you got me through this. I had to look forward to something, and they ain't got no sister girls in here. Thank you, Halle Berry. I love you, and I'm single.
Okay, thanks, Marvin.
In Big Brother 7, we get a wild eviction speech, but for reasons you may not expect. Jase was known for being loud and brash and funny, so after being, in his mind, backdoored in week 3 and being visibly angry over it, many expected him to bring the heat during his final plea. But what we got was the opposite. We got a solemn, choked up Jase, and God, it was so sad to watch, and due to it being the exact opposite of what we expected, I felt it should go on this list.
Well, this is the part where everyone assumes I'm going to say something dark and sinister. However, I'm not. Crazy people make poor decisions, like wear a Mr. Fart t-shirt on national television.
Oh, thanks.
That said, I hate the way I'm leaving this house. It kills me inside. I can't really even talk about that. I would just like Danielle and Diane to be the only ones to escort me to the door.
Thank you, Jase.
Oh, that's a tough act to follow.
Just one season later, we get one that many may not find iconic, but I do. In Big Brother 8, after spending an entire season unintentionally getting under the nerves of every last house guest, Jen left in such beautiful fashion by saying that she clearly doesn't belong among such people and that she was happy to leave. Truly a legend.
Well, in my whole life, I've always been a happy, positive person who's honest. Obviously, I don't fit in here. How I look at it is I got thrown this opportunity and I thought I would try it out. And I was happy to come here and I'm just as happy to leave. So, have fun.
Not wanting to sugarcoat anything, Chima in just week 1 of Big Brother 11 went balls to the wall against blockmate Brayden. So much so that about half of the first half of her speech had to be cut off by the producers. She followed it up by calling him a racist and a misogynist and that anyone who voted for him would deserve to go home. Wow, even Julie was impressed with this one, and the best part is that Chima ended up staying after a tie vote.
It amazes me how short some of the memory spans in here are. My opponent here called both of my very good friends. Yes, he did. Anyone who aligns himself with a racist and a misogynist, you deserve to go home.
Well, Chima, I think that's the most memorable last plea speech we've ever heard.
Just 2 weeks after Chima's speech, Casey stepped up to the plate and didn't hold back either. He went straight for the jugular, going after the dorkopotamus and the smedium-wearing egomaniac, and his closing remark is one of the best ones yet.
The reason I'm in this position is because 2 house guests stabbed me in the back. Ronnie, the manipulative dorkopotamus with the God complex. Jesse, self-absorbed, smedium-wearing egomaniac. Both these guys stabbed me in the back, and they'll do the same to the rest of y'all, all right? Know that. You can do what they tell you to do and vote me out and continue to be mindless sheep herded down towards your own eviction. It's these guys that want me out. Have your own mind. I appreciate it. Mingle, mix, holler.
The last speech from Big Brother 11, but somehow still in the pre-jury, Ronnie's speech was pretty gut-wrenching. Correctly assuming that he was about to be evicted, Ronnie gave a heartfelt speech about how much it meant for him that he finally got to play Big Brother after years and years of trying. It was sad but meaningful, and it was on pace to be one of the more powerful speeches the show had ever seen, until he takes a drastic turn and calls Michelle one of the worst human beings he had ever met in his life. What the f*** just happened here?
First off, I want to say a big thank you to anyone and everyone involved with getting me inside this house. Being in this show has been an absolute dream come true for me. I want to say thank you to Jase. Without you, I couldn't have lost the 20-some pounds I've lost. And on a final note, my wife has told me you always have to try and see the good in everyone. There's so much good in all of you, except for you, Michelle. You are quite possibly, and I wanted to say some very truthful things, but I'm going to be nice and just simply say you are the worst human being I've ever had the misfortune of meeting, and I absolutely feel sorry for you.
Well, I don't think you're getting a vote there, Ronnie, but I want to thank you for that speech.
Never has more ground been covered in a speech than in Andrew's eviction speech in Big Brother 12. In his final plea, Andrew somehow told an entire novel to the other house guests about Hayden and Kristen's secret romance, while also managing to squeeze in some additional comments made to each individual house guest. And although this didn't help Andrew stay, it did have a shift on the way the game played from there on out, as Hayden and Kristen found themselves on the block and Kristen was evicted the following week.
I have to talk fast. Everybody thought I was going after Brendan and Rachel. There's a reason why I wasn't. They have a stronger relationship. It's a romantic relationship. It's Kristen and Hayden. You need help to get this relationship out. They're kissing, they're doing more. The difference is that these people are out. These two are not out. You have to break up two alliances in this house. They said bad things about people. Britney, unfortunately, she doesn't like the way you talk. Reagan, she thinks she has you in your pocket. Lane, Hayden does love you. He's just taking you to 4th and 5th. Lane, you're a man. You came to me. I love you for that. She's the Tin Man. She doesn't care about anybody else. Unfortunately, herself, she will break anybody. Hayden, you got to get out of it now. I apologize. Captain Kosher out. Thank you very much. Julie, Captain Kosher, thank you.
You're way better than that.
Kristen, this is not your chance to talk.
The only eviction speech where you could say it technically worked, Matt Hoffman's Diamond Power of Veto speech in Big Brother 12 literally ended with him being safe. While Matt could have taken a nice safe route and just informed his fellow house guests that he had a power to keep him alive, Matt instead took the opportunity to just demolish Brendan every which way that he could, ending it by calling him a big dummy and sending Kathy home of all people.
Brendan, it's no secret. I've been on your radar, public enemy #1 this whole week as a target. It involved your girlfriend, who's not even here anymore, wanting me out. Maybe involving you having the inability to make your own decisions in this game, or neither here nor there, because here I sit on the block like a chump. And for that, Brendan, I say congratulations. Congratulations on coming so close. But better luck next time, you big dummy, because I'm gonna use the Diamond Power of Veto tonight to save myself.
Yes, Britney, it's true.
In Big Brother 13, after fighting tooth and nail all season long, Dani's run finally came to a finish when Jeff sent her packing. However, we all know that dark-haired Dani wouldn't leave without some solid parting words. After going against the veterans all season long, it only made sense for her send-off to be a final FU to them by trying to paint one last target on Jeff and Jordan, which technically worked.
I have a love for this game, and it very, very much saddens me that I am the only person in this house that feels that way. Other people had a different agenda, and that agenda is to sit around for the entire summer to write Jeff and Jordan a paycheck. Absolutely no regrets, only choices, because at the end of the day, I can sit here and say, I've made my own.
The first double eviction in Big Brother 14 brought us not one, not two, but 3 excellent eviction speeches in my opinion. Although not stupendous in any one category, Mike Boogie's send-off in BB14 always stuck to me due to the straight shot level it was brought to. He didn't waste any time. He declared that he only needed 1 vote to stay and then directed his entire speech to the one individual he hoped he could flip. Being so direct is a pretty solid testament to Boogie wanting to use his speech as wisely as he could, but it does make it stand out a bit more when the vote ended up being one off of what Boogie expected, rendering his speech completely futile, but also leading nicely into the double eviction that followed.
And to the house guests, people usually speak in generalities at this point, but it's down to brass tacks, and I need a vote. A week ago Thursday, I told you the vote was 6-2 and you would be good. Somebody else voted against you. Nothing bad to say about Jen. Please go in there and do the right thing. Let's go New England Patriots. Mic check 1, 2, I'm out.
Thanks, Boogie.
Following Boogie's exit, Ashley found herself on the block by the hands of Ian, someone she really thought she could trust. With little time to prepare, Ashley gave a very medicinal sounding plea. Over and over, it seemed like she forgot what she was doing, and it's definitely one of the most unique speeches of all time. Speaking of unique speeches, Chef Joe didn't have all that much time to deliver his own speech after Ashley's, but luckily, he didn't need the time. This movement from Joe basically saying, "Everyone, I love you, keep me here, and vote Ashley's ass out," is one of the most unique and clever ways to deliver an eviction speech. It's in such direct contrast to Ashley's speech, and overall, it's one of my favorite eviction pleas of all time.
I think you guys know it's been a rough game. People thought obviously, I'm not articulate. I can't express myself the way other people do. I don't have that talent.
We need you to wrap up.
I thought you had my back.
Ashley, I'm sorry, your time is up. Thank you.
We're not done with this season yet, though. Britney's eviction speech in Big Brother 14 stands out due to the nature of her closing statement. After being put on the block due to Dan's Hail Mary of a funeral, her reference to Jerry, who had also been outplayed by Dan in Big Brother 10, was an iconic callback to such a line, and it was made all the better when everyone went, "Oh," and she had to follow it up with, "It was meant as a joke."
To my fellow house guests, I don't have the time or big enough ego to stand here and host my own funeral. And to quote a very, very wise old man, "You'll always be Judas to me."
Woo! All right. Thank you, ladies.
I've talked about it before, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again. Candice's fight with Gina Marie during her eviction speech in Big Brother 15 is just so iconic due to the fact that she absolutely upends her in the argument, ironically making Gina Marie look like the clown through it all, and it continues even after she's evicted. Julie has to interrupt things, and Spencer jumping right in adds a little bit of laughter to it, and it is assuredly one of the wildest eviction speeches in the entire show.
Well, I came here to play a game, and, this week it became personal when Gina Marie, you called me a rat, and I'm talking. Because you are. I don't know if where you live in New York, at your mom's house at 33, it looks like you and not me, because I'm fabulous. I love all of you. I'm obsessed with you.
Gina Marie. Spencer, take it away. Spencer, it is your turn.
All right.
Ladies, settle down.
That is a very tough act to follow. However, I would like to thank the Union Pacific Railroad for allowing me the opportunity to come follow a dream.
Not just 1 hour after Candice's eviction, one of the most unexpected evictions was about to happen once Judd found himself on the block after the veto ceremony. Not every eviction speech stands out because it was funny, and this is a prime example. Judd's speech sticks out due to the sad nature of someone just begging for their life in the game, and it was reflected by all of the other house guests showing visible tears throughout it all. But in a last-second change of pace, Judd manages to pull out a little joke to bring a teensy bit of laughter before his sudden exit.
Obviously, I know you guys want me to go, but I love every single one of y'all, and I really pray that you bring it in your heart to really keep me here. It's not too late. Don't vote how people are telling you. Vote how you want to. And you too, please change your vote. And you too, change your vote. You change your vote. Not everything you hear is true. We all know that. Thanks.
Zach's 2 speeches in Big Brother 16 were definitely hilarious at the time. Although I've heard them at least 100,000 times at this point and am a little bit sick of them, there is no denying that they were standout speeches, especially amongst his cast. And although it did unfortunately start the trend of house guests shouting out their own brains during eviction, Zach did it in a clever enough way that I give him a pass.
Zach, you're up.
Geez, Julie, I don't have anything planned. Roses are red, violets are blue. Everyone here is great. I love each and every one of you. Your decision tonight is crucial. The wrong choice may cost you. So when you walk into that diary room, please vote to evict Jacosta.
Thank you, Rancy Pants.
To you Fruit Loops, I say I hate all you guys. That's not the case. I strongly dislike all of you, and I hate one of you. You all suck, but I'm leaving a winner. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Rancy Pants, RANCEYPANTS. Julie, I'll see you shortly.
Okay, then.
Big Meech brought not just 1, but two good speeches in the Big Brother 18 double eviction. In the first one, after thinking she was going home all week but being informed in the last few hours that she would be staying, Michelle dedicated her speech to just roasting Paulie and painting a huge target on his back. Good enough on its own, but the real fireworks come in during the second eviction when she found herself on the block once more. She exclaimed happiness that she felt she blew up Paulie's game in her first speech and then figured, what the hell, she's on her way out the door anyways, why not blow up Nicole's game too? She called her a snake, but by far the funniest thing about it is her shocked face when the votes came back and she realized that she was once more staying in the house, and the look of regret for saying all those things just floods right over her. It was amazing.
Well, I want to take this opportunity while no one could interrupt me just to say that you guys were handing Paulie $500,000 before 24 hours ago because you've seen his true colors and obviously laughing at my speech. But he blew up his own game. I didn't have to. Congrats, Paulie. My goal staying was to get Paulie's game to be blown up. Sorry, bad grammar. But I accomplished that. I'm so happy, so I can walk out that door and I'm going to be happy. And Nicole is a snake, Jose was right. I'm the fourth person that's told you this. Davon, Tiffany, Frank, and now me. Don't trust her. And not him either.
Bridget, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I thought you meant you. I'm sorry, I literally had no idea. What deal did I make with you? That I guess I asked you if...
Now, this one here is not really one individual in particular, but I just wanted to throw in the week 2 eviction from Big Brother 20 because both Swaggy C and Winston throw a little bit of shade the other's way, and I thought it was funny, and I wanted to include it.
Winston said it best in his veto speech that he's 0 for 4 in competitions. He's not really a threat, so he can't really promise you safety.
So, sorry I don't have a t-shirt that has my name on it.
Now, you know that the real star of the eviction speeches in Big Brother 20 was Brett. The first 2 times he was on the block, he basically had the same idea. Knowing that he was going to stay, he wanted to cause as much chaos and confusion as he could so that once it was announced that he wasn't going to be evicted, nobody would know who to correctly point the finger at. The first time, he called out Rockstar over a conversation that he made up, and the second time, he called out Rachel for spilling the beans on Bailey having a power app, as well as exposing an all-girls alliance. Both times, he ended up staying in the house by 1 vote, and the first time ended with one of the best post-eviction blow-ups in recent memory. Glorious.
And Kailin, I want you to know, before this, Rockstar came to me. She said, guess what? I'm going to flip on this vote. I'm going to make it a 6-5. And then at that point in time, I'm going to pin it on Kailin moving forward. I hope you can trust me. And I hope everyone in this room still wants me in this house. Thank you. I know that I was Bailey's target this week. I also know that Rachel was her pawn. How do I know that? Rachel told me. Rachel also told me that Bailey has a power app. Well, that's because Rachel's actually the head of the all-girls alliance called the Man-Eaters, besides Sam being in that alliance. When you go in there and cast your vote tonight, I want you to think about all that information. Thank you.
Good speech.
Once upon a time in Big Brother 22, we all sat at home thinking, wow, this is boring. This isn't All-Stars. And Kaysar thought that too. When he knew without a doubt he was going to be evicted for the 4th time in his career, Kaysar left on his own terms, calling out the Cody, Nicole, Dani trio and stating that this isn't how All-Stars actually play. And you know what? No lies were detected.
I just want to say I really love every one of you guys on a personal level. Now, when it comes to gameplay and strategy, I think you guys all suck. Cody and Nicole have been running this house since day 1. And then the last alliance, of course, Dani and Nicole and Cody. Cody finds himself in this love triangle, but no one's willing to take a shot. So if you guys want to play the game, All-Stars, or if you want to have a reunion and sit around and maybe play charades, then keep things the same. If you want to play All-Stars, then keep me here. I hope I have your vote, Cody.
Oh, you got it, buddy.
Thank you.
Davon's eviction speech wasn't what I would call wild, but it was powerful. She started off on a monologue touching upon past strong black women to play Big Brother, acknowledging and giving praise to anybody that fought the same fight she did inside of the house. Afterwards, Davon brought it back around to the game and basically said, point blank, if you were straight up with me this week, I recognize that. But if you were tiptoeing around with me, it's not looking good for you in the jury. It was a strong speech and possibly the longest in Big Brother history, and the final cherry on top was Julie chiming in afterwards.
Cassandra Walden was the very first house guest to ever walk through those doors. She was a strong black woman. Danielle Reyes sat in these 2 chairs, iconic and legendary. She as well was a strong black woman. I had the desire to join that list of women and be the first African American to ever win this game. 21 seasons of winners, and not one of those faces looked like mine. And it does make me feel like maybe it's impossible, But I'm wrong about that because it's definitely possible. We can do it. It just hasn't been done yet. But I'm not going out without a fight. Thank you. I love my God. I love my child. I love Big Brother. Let's play this game.
I love God too. I love that you thanked God.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I like David. And David's, no pun intended, David versus Goliath speech when he was on the block against Nicole Franzel during the triple eviction in Big Brother 22 is one reason why. Even in the face of certain eviction, the rookie stood up and pleaded for everyone to come to their senses and vote out the literal victor sitting next to him. And it almost worked. It was a nice send-off for the All-Star that had everything to prove, and even if you don't agree, I'm putting it on this list.
I'm standing next to someone who's won the game already. All of us remaining have not. I think there's an opportunity to shift that. All right, rookie wants to stay, rookie wants to play. There's another eviction tonight. I can help you out. Let's play.
And I don't know what else to say. Okay, Nicole doesn't know what to say. Guess what? I do. I've been saying it for days. Tyler, Christmas, you have a final 2. Guess what? You do. You also had a power that you didn't tell anyone about. It was you. You 2 will be going up if I'm HOH, so please keep me around so I won't go after you 3.
Now, we get to the most recent wild eviction speech. It's Taylor in Big Brother 24. After enduring weeks of bullying inside the house, Taylor finally got the raw opportunity to get her comeuppance and have her moment of victory over Nicole as they sat next to each other on the block, with Nicole going home. However, even after calling Nicole out for being dumb enough to have her closest ally use the veto to send her home, Taylor ended her speech by saying she still had love for her. She could have been brutal and she had every right to do so, but she ended it kind and classy, which hopefully showed the other house guests and viewers why she ended up as Miss Congeniality.
Nicole, to quote a Big Brother superfan, Rihanna, you look so dumb right now. Choosing me as your festy bestie, both of us sitting on the chopping block because of your closest ally in the house who thought that you would still be safe. If you keep Nicole, you'll have someone that thinks that they can manipulate your game and wrap you around their finger to get what they need. I love you all, including you, Nicole, and I wish everyone here the best.
Nicole, wait for me in LA.
Now, for basically the first time ever, I've got some over the top to talk about. The Willett sisters found themselves on the block, and given the opportunity to speak directly in front of everyone without fear of being interrupted, both women made sure to let the other house guests know how they really felt, and I wouldn't really do it justice trying to explain it, so just watch.
Hypocrites, all of you. A lot of y'all are some pretty insufferable people, but at the end of the day, I think you should look back and make sure your own fingers are clean.
Chrissy, I'm proud you haven't quit the game yet. You've only threatened a couple times. Danielle, I'm happy you finally realized there's other people in this house besides just yourself. Jason, the real twist of this game would be if something that came out of your mouth was actually true. And Whitney, you're the last person to join their alliance, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to have a celebratory dinner when you're the first person I think they'll kick out. Bikini girl out. Bikini girl out.
Now, I could end the video right here and there, or I could extend things a little bit and talk about 3 Big Brother candidate speeches instead. I think I like that idea better. And before we begin, let me just say that the eviction speech music that Big Brother Canada uses is just so good and adds a lot to the drama and suspense. Now, one of the craziest weeks in Big Brother Canada history ever, the week of Godfrey and Jordan in Big Brother Canada 3 ended with not 1, but 2 iconic speeches. Godfrey kicked things off by going straight for the HOH Zach, promising that he would take him out the following week and urging the house guests to make a big move. This was followed up by Jordan, who had a bit of a performance up his sleeve, starting off by saying, "Please vote me out and keep Godfrey in." But after listing all the reasons why they should keep Godfrey, Jordan turned things around and said, "Wait, scratch that, I can do all of those things too, vote to save me instead." They were just 2 incredible speeches in a row, and they precede one of the most legendary moments in all of Big Brother, and for that, they make this list.
You guys want to make a big move? Are you just going to sit here and be Zach's cheerleaders? I will win at your age. I will send your ass packing, man. Who do you stand a better chance with? Me or the highly charismatic JP? Do the smart thing.
My fellow house guest, I plead, please, in your best self-interest, vote me out and keep Godfrey in this game. Because without Godfrey, who, I ask, will nap incessantly each and every day? Who, I ask, will hide in the HOH shower? Oh wait, hold on a sec. I can do all of those things. So actually, you know what? Scrap that. Vote to keep me. I'll take over all of his duties. Well, I'll be happy, and it'll be a great day.
Jordan.
Thank you.
If you take a shot at the Queen, you better not miss. There's nothing else to say about Ika's speech in Big Brother Canada 5. She ran the season, and she knew it, and I'm just gonna show it to you because it's plain awesome.
This is your chance to take out the Queen. Do it.
And now down to business. When you take a shot at the baddest bitch in this house, you better make sure you hit. Because when I shoot, I never miss my targets.
Thank you, Aika.
And now, for the true final one, we have Kailin in Big Brother Canada 7. She started off by going to each house guest and figuratively taking $100,000 from each of them and giving it to Adam and Chelsea as they were the frontrunners. She then calls out Chelsea for trying to have her cake and eat it too with Kailin and ends it all by shaming everyone for making the easy choice instead of making a big change in the game. It was iconic and it was beautiful.
The floor is yours. Grab your popcorn, folks.
This is me taking $100,000 from every last one of you and giving it to Adam or Chelsea. You called me out in front of my children. In private, you told me how much respect you had for me. You can't have it both ways. Making change is never easy. But unfortunately, each and every one of you is choosing to do the easy thing to date. You want truth? Please, you can't handle the truth.
And there we go. We have had quite a few wild eviction speeches in Big Brother history, and even though I said that no eviction speech has ever really impacted that eviction, that's the exact reason why I think you should go balls to the wall with it. If it doesn't matter and they're gonna vote your ass out anyways, you might as well tell them how you really feel and blow some shit up on your way out. But that's just my opinion. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Of course, I need to give that extra special shout out to all of my YouTube members who assuredly would give a 10 out of 10 performance in their eviction speeches. And as always, here's a clip for you on your way out.
And what they want is for all of you guys to keep the swaggiest guy there is, the swaggiest guy there was, and the swaggiest guy there ever will be, Swaggy C. And Scotty, you look amazing, my brother.
I appreciate the flattery, but I'm nobody's goon. I vote to evict Chris.